Good morning, good morning, good morning. Greetings, greetings. Today we're going to talk about this idea of validation and the simple fact that we truly don't need it. Just waiting for a few more people to jump in here. How's your day going so far? I hope you all are having an amazing day, doing some positive things, prospering in all areas. I hope you have woken up and given gratitude to the Lord for the gift of another day. I hope you've expressed gratitude to your coworkers, to your family, to your friends, to your loved ones. I hope that you are truly living the life that you want to live. So amazing. Greetings and thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got a great topic we're going to start off with for this midday interruption. The fact that we don't need validation. We've been so conditioned by our friends, by our family, by the media that we think we need validation. We need someone to tell us that our idea is good. We need someone to tell us that the profession that we're pursuing, that we're currently engaged in, is good for us. We need someone to tell us that our beliefs are good, our religion is good, the invention that we're thinking of is good, the business idea that we have is good. That's what we've been conditioned to believe. We've been so conditioned to believe that people need to validate us, our ideas, our thoughts. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need validation from anyone. Be your own cheerleader. Validate yourself. Know that your idea is good enough and be mindful of who you share things with, right? We're also so conditioned to be so excited. Hey, Kelly, what's happening? To be so excited with this idea that we have to share. I got to tell someone this. I reached this big milestone. I reached this accomplishment. I lost 5 pounds. What happens when you tell some people these accomplishments? You tell someone, hey, I lost 5 pounds, and they look at you like, where? And you was eating ice cream, right? Do we really need that validation? Like, let's be honest. But again, we've been so conditioned. Society has us thinking that we need validation from everyone. Everyone has to weigh in. You're struggling with your relationship, and you're not disciplined enough to keep that between you and your partner. You need some validation. So you tell someone, you tell your BFF, you tell your pastor, you tell your brother, your sister, your mother, you tell someone, hey, so-and-so didn't make the bed this morning. Now everyone's giving so-and-so, everyone's giving your partner the side eye because you sought some validation. I always tell people, instead of talking about people, talk with people. So if you're having some problems with a spouse, with a partner in a relationship, talk with them instead of about them. I guarantee you, you'll gain more traction. I guarantee you, you'll make peace with that. Here's what we try to do. We try to share our side with our partner looking for validation. We don't need to look for validation. Our partner doesn't need to validate why we're feeling the way we feel. Our partner just needs to hear it, right? People just need to hear it. It's not your job to make people understand. You can't make people do anything. The only person you can make do something is yourself. Stop trying to make people understand you. Present yourself. Be who you are. And make people rise to your level to understand you. Make people navigate the information you gave them. Thank you, Chanel. Make people navigate the information that you gave them so they could understand you. We're too much people pleasers, right? So we have two concepts, being a people pleaser and seeking validation. Part of the reason that we seek validation from other people is because we all are people pleasers. We act like we're not. Nah, I ain't no people pleaser. Hey, y'all like my watch? Isn't that seeking your validation? Right? We dye our hair and we look for a compliment. We look for a compliment because we're seeking validation. We sit here like, well, I got these blonde highlights. I don't know if it look good though. Here's why we don't know if it looks good. Greetings and welcome, everyone. We don't know if it looks good because we have some doubt and we see things through a different lens. So when we're looking for validation, we want to get some feedback from that other side. Like, what does the lens look like coming this way? I know what my lens looks like. I got it done. I look great, but I want to seek it from you. How is this tie? How is this combo? Right? And here's the thing: if we're confident and as it looks great to us, that's all that matters. If our idea is a great idea to us, that's all that matters. If we can get behind our own ideas, our own goals and stop trying to share with the whole world. Well, let me tell you what I'm about to do, right? You ever tell someone what you're about to do? And next thing you know, you're in another conversation with that person and they're sharing that idea like it's theirs. That's what we get for seeking validation. And there's the feedback, right? We'll have that happen and then we'll go tell someone, they'd be like, see, told you stop telling all your business. And we sit there like, I know. And then next, next month we done told someone else something all over again. We're constantly seeking validation. We're constantly seeking feedback, right? Sometimes we're just not ready for that feedback. Sometimes we are moved to a response, a rebuttal, taking action against that feedback versus just receiving it. When you receive something, let it flow to you and through you. Sometimes when we receive something, we're not ready for it, so it puts up our defensive mechanisms, right? I always say this, the only time we need validation is when we're parking our car. And some of you are like, but I don't even drive. Then you definitely don't need validation. Not for you. Nope. And we have to go back to our core values and beliefs, how we were raised, how we were, the things that we tuned into growing up, what we listened to, right? So we just got to be mindful of what we're doing, what our actions are communicating, right? When you go get that new outfit, how does it feel in that store? How does it feel when you are placing that order online and they're shipping that package to you? It feels great. Keep that great feeling. You don't need to tell someone or ask someone for their feedback or invite their feedback in just to be disappointed. You don't need that, right? But we've been conditioned, even to the point where, there was a time in our society where there was certain like body types and this and that, and this is how much you should weigh as a woman and as a male and this and that. I remember coaching a client a few years back, and I said to them, don't you know that those metrics that they've created, society has created, are designed for European male and females? Like that whole height, weight chart? Yep, that's not a universal thing. But we process it as a universal thing because we need that validation. Here's what happens to us too. There you go, the BMI, the body mass index. There you go. Look, Kella, you know what I'm talking about. You got me. Okay. We have become addicted to approval. We become addicted to validation. Even when you tune into someone's live and they say something like, well, I just wanted to get on here real quick. What they're doing is communicating to you, I'm playing it safe. And if I don't get enough people in my live, if I don't get enough likes, if I don't get enough gifts, I've already warned you all. I just wanted to do this real quick. I'm playing it safe, right? There's that validation. And one thing I do, and I talk with my team about this a lot, not concerned about the numbers. Here's why. It's very simple. My message isn't for everyone. My message is not for everyone, and I'm okay with that. People have to be okay with that, right? Especially when they're scrolling. I get that. Like sometimes we'll say, oh, I'm looking for positive stuff, but we scroll and we get sucked into that negative stuff, right? And I've been invited to do some lives with people, and it's, well, let's come on here and talk about your love language, or, what you think about this or your relationship. And I'm like, whoa. Just like my live is not for everyone, that content right there, that's not for me. That's not what I'm about. I'm about positivity, uplifting people, motivating and inspiring people, and letting people know some of the reasons that we fall flat and we fall down in our daily lives, right? Sometimes it takes a loss for us to appreciate things. Sometimes it takes a loss, and you can take that in many ways, right? It could be a loss where you're grieving something or someone, right? It could be you can't find something. It could be your favorite mug has broken, and then you realize, man, I missed that mug. That was the biggest mug I had. It could be the internet. We all know what that feels like when your internet goes out. How many of my AT&T people are in here? When I lost service, when I had, I got 5 lines, and it was crazy because my line was the only line that was off. But my Apple Watch on AT&T actually worked. So I still was connected, but I know what it feels like. When we lose something, it helps us to appreciate things. And when I say things like be grateful for all things, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Stop waiting till something bad happens. Stop waiting till you don't have access to something anymore to say, I really missed that thing. Cherish it. And the reason the context is so fitting for relationships is because we all have been there. We're all there. Like, we've been there so often, right? And one of my clients I was coaching was trying to push back and challenge me on this. They said, well, you might feel this way about, for example, some people may feel like sometimes their parents are bugging them. But what do you tell me as someone that has lost, both of my parents, and, I don't get those phone calls to check on me and those things. And I said, here's what I would tell you. You are in a position of grieving. That's fine. Grieve. It's not my job to move you out of that position so we can have a conversation about a context of losing someone. And I said, however, when you are beyond your state of grieving and bereavement, we can have this conversation. So we followed up, and I said, here's what I'll say to you. Because people always do this. If I knew this information way back when, I wouldn't do what I did, right? It's not true. If you knew this information back then, think about who you were way back when. Like, you were that person. And with this new information, as that person, you would have processed the new information the same way you were processing everything else way back then, right? So what happens when people talk about a relationship or losing someone is like, you just process things differently when you're in that state of grieving. But on a logical state, you could say, well, I give one more chance to, see that person one more time or hear that person's voice one more time. Here's the thing. That process would not end, because when you have a loss, there's a void to be filled. And you can't replay it. You can't fill a void of a loss, bereavement with anything else. Like, there's nothing to replace that. So you could say, oh, if I could hear their voice one more time, and if that were truly possible, you'd say that again and again and again after you heard that voice. So just gotta be mindful of those things. But circling back, our conditioning by society, our schools, our home, the media, tells us that we need validation. They literally dictate what we should say. Like, for example, and I had to catch myself. I was telling my wife, I'm like, listen, we got two little ones. When one of them hurts the other one, what do we say to them? Say sorry. Our society things in our society are always grounded in two words. Say sorry, thank you, I'm sorry, right? Always two words. And they can make or break relationships that aren't strong. Notice my caveat, that aren't strong, right? So circling back, we have a society that has been telling us we should say sorry. We should be sorry. We should feel sorry. We should be ashamed, right? And shame has such a low vibration. But what do? We shame people. Someone cuts you off, intentionally or unintentionally, they get the same consequence. You're throwing your hands up, you're honking your horn, you're shaming that person, right? Versus being grateful to say, you know what, I'm so glad our cars didn't hit. I'm so glad I didn't hit this car. And what we have to do is pause. We got to slow down. Not that Cameron pause, right? Different kind of pause. We got to slow down. We move too fast in our daily lives. And when we pause, we can say things like, whew, that was close. I'm so glad I was paying attention. I'm so glad I wasn't driving distracted, because I was able to slam on my brakes and avoid that collision. And be grateful. It's easier to be mad because that's what we're conditioned to do. And then we watch TV, we watch some shows, we watch the media, the news that are highlighting these cases of someone getting mad at another driver. It further reinforces that's what we're supposed to do. We're not. Our kids, our children, young people, next generation, our future, they are always learning. They're learning from us. So when we keep seeking validation, all we're doing is teaching them you need validation. You need validation for your outfit, for your hairdo, for your profession, for the college you want to go to, and for the slang that you use. Yep, you said that wrong. We got to fix that. We trying to validate you right now. We're going to invalidate that. And again, the only time we need validation, just one time, folks, when we park our car. Some of y'all like, I ain't got no car. Okay, then you ain't got to worry, right? So I'm here to encourage all of you, stop expecting validation for everything that you do. Some of us have a great idea and we're just on hold. We're on that phone like, huh? You say something? Because I just shared my idea with you. I thought it was great. And the other person's over there like, It's just like I tell clients that are trying to heal and they haven't engaged in forgiveness because they're waiting for an apology. Here's what it looks like to wait for an apology. Yeah, that really hurt me. And there's that awkward silence. So you try to play it up. You're like, yeah, when you when you yelled at me, you raised your voice a little bit. Everybody was watching. And they're on the phone with you. They're like, oh, okay. And you're like, huh? Did you say sorry? They're like, nah, I didn't say sorry. We're waiting for validation. We're waiting for apologies. We're waiting for things that we're not going to get. We're not going to get it. Stop it. Stop putting your life on hold because you're waiting for someone to validate your idea. Stop putting your life on hold because you're waiting for someone to apologize for cheating on you 2 months ago. 2 months have already passed. Oh, you think today is the day? Okay, they're going to call you and apologize. Do you know how many clients I coach that will say, Dr. Lewis, I'm just waiting for my ex to reach out to me and apologize for when I caught them cheating? Are you really waiting for that? Because I'm going to be honest, one of my things as a coach that we learn early in training to be a coach, usually when clients tell you things, they're telling you surface level stuff, and that's never the heart of the problem. So you're not waiting for someone to pick up the phone and say, hello? Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have cheated on you. Where y'all living at? Who does that? Stop it. Stop it. Listen, I said a lot. Put some things in the comments. Anything that you all want to process around validation. We don't need it. Protect your peace. Protect your space. Protect your energy. Some of us are letting people come into our space who are not worthy of being there. And sometimes we're so desperate for a friendship, for a partner, for a relationship, for company, that we don't check that. And it goes against our values and beliefs, but we don't have a mechanism. We don't have a structure in place to say, you know what, not tolerating this. Nah, you into that? Nope. Not coming around my kids smelling like some smoke. Nope. And then the other thing, going back to validation. So here's a true story from a client. So relatives into smoking, client is hosting. Client got little babies. And they don't want to invite this relative that smokes the stuff that recently became legal. They're like, nah, not in front of my little baby. I don't want them smelling like that. I don't want my babies to even catch that whiff. And I'm like, so what are you going to do about it? They're like, well, I could not invite them, but then my parents are going to have a problem with it. I did because I'm like, that's the validation. So now you're worried about what it means to protect your space, your children, your most vulnerable, and then you're worried about the invalidation you're going to receive from your parents. Choices, choices, choices. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to tolerate or not tolerate to protect your peace? Those are the questions. Those are the internal struggles that we really have, but they're not easy to navigate, so we ignore them. So I'm not wrong for not wanting to go to a family event. Kella, you know I got you. Woo! Yes, I had to let go of trying to. There you go. Yes, Earth ain't. Listen, y'all like, Doc, you talking to me now. If this message is resonating with you, put Doc, you talking to me in the comments right now. Doc, I know you talking to me. Yes, and that's what it's about, right? And I always tell people, when you are connecting with someone, when you're consuming some content, when you're looking into a coach, a therapist, psychologist, and they're not talking to you or talking with you, they're not the person for you. And the reason I say that is because I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in synchronicities. I believe in things are meant to happen. So when you come across some content and it's speaking to you, that's why some of your comments and some of this, TikTok, social media content will be, oh my gosh, that's me, because you know that content is speaking to you. And here's the thing, Kella, I'm not going to tell you it's right or wrong, right, Kella? Because I always talk about our non-negotiables and our core values and beliefs. So it's right or wrong, Kella, based on what your values and beliefs are, what your position is. You got to take a position. I can't give you that position because that position has to be grounded in your core values and beliefs. But Kelly, I know exactly what you're saying. I think we're definitely on the same page though. Definitely on the same page. And Earth Angel, you said I had to let go trying to be accepted by family, friends, and followers. Absolutely. Absolutely. When we go back to our why do we do what we do? Some of you will say, I do it for so and so. I do it because of this person or these people. And we have to really check ourselves, right? Because sometimes we're doing it for all the wrong reasons. How many of us are doing what we do for us? In a recent live, I talked about the detriment of going to a job solely for the paycheck. There is power in no. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, there is tremendous power in no. There is tremendous power in no. I want to circle back to something I was just saying though. I talked recently on a live about this idea of going to work just for a paycheck. Here's what that looks like. That creates some toxicity amongst the workplace culture. That creates some havoc in your life as well because, and I'm not saying that you're not doing your job well, but there's a limitation there because you're not going to give anything more because you know I'm only doing this for a paycheck. And here's what it looks like. If you drive the speed limit 65 and you go 85 to work and you're on a salary, it doesn't change your salary. You're getting the same paycheck. If you drive the speed limit, you're getting the same paycheck. If you drive under the speed limit, you're getting the same paycheck. If you go in early, you're getting the same paycheck. If you stay late or go in late, you're getting this, unless they dock your pay, you're getting the same paycheck. So we got to stop this. I'm only doing it just for the paycheck, or I'm only doing it just for this reason. Because when we identify that one reason and it's not the right reason, I'm going to work just for a paycheck. And I can't wait to make enough on my own to stop slaving. Oh my gosh. Zen Brandon, thank you for saying that. I'm going to tap into that. Give me a moment. When you go to work just for a paycheck, you are missing out on the amazing opportunities that are all around you. So for example, let's say you work in fast food. Let's say you work in McDonald's or whatever it is. And I'm not saying it in a condescending way. I'm just trying to get an example. But Zen Branding, if you want to tell me your profession, I got you. Jeff, give me 1 sec, Jeff. I'm just trying to see if I missed your comment. Jeff, I missed your comment. All I got is just trying to help you, Dr. Lewis. So if you want to, okay, it says they've been filtered. So don't be putting no inappropriate stuff in here. A lot of us are not operating our calling. We're not even supposed to be at these jobs. Whoa, 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 whoa. Gotcha. Gotcha. Interesting. You know what? Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate the help. You just want to read my quote. I got you. If we keep making excuses, nothing will get done. Trademark that. All right. So anyhow, y'all said a lot. I don't even know if I got enough time to go through all this. I'm kidding. I got you. Okay. Woo, Earth Angel. I just got to jump to this comment. I'm circling back to you in a minute there, Zen. Earth Angel, you said a lot of us are not operating in our calling. We're not even supposed to be at these jobs. Earth Angel, when you approach it that way, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm going to say it's different. When you approach it that way, you miss out on some opportunities. Here's what I mean. I grew up, I was a basketball player as a kid, travel team, town league, all this stuff. I pondered AAU, didn't do it. I was constantly recruited. I started dunking as a sophomore. I thought I had my whole life ahead of me. I was going to go to NBA after my senior year in high school. Didn't happen. Football. All my buddies played football growing up. Not me. The weight limit was 140. I was 193 in fourth grade. That weight limit of 140 was for the big kids, the middle schoolers.